Good day, everyone. So, this would be our supplemental discussion about hemostasis. Okay. So, this is a presentation I've made or I've used last semester. So, please bear with me. I wouldn't be able to discuss everything in this PowerPoint. Nevertheless, may copy naman na din kayo from our HEMA 2 way back then. So, let's just go over a short review lang about hemostasis in general, and then we will proceed in coagulation pathway and then the mixing studies. Okay? So, in studying hemostasis, of course, you have to have a few background muna, okay, before we get into the real deal. Okay? So, first you have to review, syempre, our platelets. Okay, what about the platelets? Review the structure of the platelets. Okay, so what composes our peripheral zone? What composes the Solgel zone? The organelle zone? Okay, and the membrane system of the platelets. So you have to know these parts. You have to know kung ano yung purpose nila. Okay, what are their functions? Aside from that, you also have to know the function of the platelet. What is the role of the platelet in primary hemostasis? What is its role in secondary hemostasis? What is its role in fibrinolysis? Okay? So, review nyo yon. Okay? Yan. So, secondly, okay, or moving on, okay, let's talk about the hemostasis itself. Okay? So, what do we say by hemostasis? So, ang alam natin, when we say hemostasis, it is a balance. Hemostasis. Okay? It's a balance. Balance of what? Okay? It's a balance between the formation of clot and the dissolution of clot, or dissolving of clot. Okay? So, you cannot have more of the other one kasi that will cause either a bleeding disorder or kaya naman a thrombotic disorder or a clotting disorder naman. Okay? So, when you say hemostasis, it's all about the balance. Okay? So, in hemostasis, we have two what we call the primary hemostasis and the secondary. Okay? So, when we say primary, madali lang yan. Anong end goal natin sa primary? Anong end product natin? You have your, what we call the platelet plug. Okay? How about in secondary? What is our goal naman in secondary? Okay? So, in secondary hemostasis, our goal is to have a stable fibrin clot. Okay, take note of the stable kasi you can have a fibrin clot. Pero pag hindi siya na-stabilized, it's still not the end goal. Hindi pa siya end. Okay? Or if there are cases na hindi talaga siya na-stabilize, maybe there is a problem with the pathway, with the pathway, kaya hindi natin na-achieve yung stable fibrin clot. Okay? Now, so let's go over how does platelet plug form. Paano ba natin na-form ang platelet plug? Now, the first step in our primary hemostasis, we have first vasoconstriction. So imagine if this is your blood vessel and then nagkaroon ng sugat. Nagkaroon ng wound. Okay, so there's a wound in the blood vessel. Okay, so what your blood vessel will do is it will vasoconstrict. One trigger we have for vasoconstriction is pain. Once there is pain, it will trigger vasoconstriction, among other things. Okay, pero we have pain as one. Okay, so when there is vasoconstriction, yan, nagko-constrict sila, diba? So imagine Yan. Kikipot yung daan. Okay? So, from dito, kanina, nandito. Okay? It will constrict. So, liliit na lang yung daan, yung blood vessel. So, your platelets, discoid shape. Okay, your platelets will be more closer to each other. Okay, so mas lalapit sila sa isa't isa. Yan. So, it will help po your platelets to adhere and aggregate with each other. Okay, next we have platelet adhesion. What do we mean by platelet adhesion? Okay, so when you have a wound, this is your blood vessel. Underneath the blood vessel, we have different types of tissues. We have what we call fibronectin. We have collagen then. Okay, so nandito yan. Yan. Once this is exposed to your plasma which contains your von Willebrand factor, gawin natin siyang triangle. Yan, may mga von Willebrand, ay, ang pangit ng drawing ko. May mga von Willebrand factor dyan. Your von Willebrand factor will be deposited in your, can I have another color? Ayan, blue. Will be deposited in the collagen. Now, this will serve as a bridge for your platelets to adhere to. Okay? Now, your platelets, makikita nila si von Willebrand factor, kakapit ngayon ng inyong platelets dito. Yan, may platelets ka na dyan. Yan. So, that's the first step. That's the adhesion part. Okay? Yan. So, in vivo, collagen mainly is, sa collagen mainly, natitrigger ang platelet adhesion. In vitro naman, it's glass. Okay? Yan. The next step we have is the platelet secretion. Okay? When we say platelet secretion, okay, now once your platelets are adhered, nakadikit na siya, di ba? Nati-trigger na yung next step, which is the secretion. Okay? So, sa secretion phase, yung dati mong discoid shape na platelets, dati siyang ganyan, mababago siya ng shape. It will start to deform into a pseudopod. Parang pseudopod. Paano ba pseudopod? May mga, I don't know how to draw. Search nyo na lang. Parang magkakaroon siya ng kamay-kamay. Something like that. Parang ganyan. Magiging, di na siya discoid. Di na siya circular. It will change into a pseudopod shape. Okay? That is because of the contractions of the microtubules. Okay? So, we have actin portion of our of the platelets. Okay? So, you can find that in the Sol-Gel zone. So, we have actin and myosin which is responsible for the contractile ng ating platelets. Pag nagko-contract na siya, okay? Ayan. So, mag-change na siya into a pseudopod. Okay? Ayan. So, alongside nun, marirelease na yung granules inside. Okay, so nagko-contract si platelets, kasabay nare-release yung granules inside. What are the granules inside of your platelet? So you have different granules. We have what we call alpha granules, we have dense granules. So ano-ano yung kasama sa alpha granules? Alpha, we have, just to name a few, this contains von Willebrand factor as well, fibrinogen, ano pa ba? Fibrinogen, it also has thromboglobulin, platelet factor 4, factor 5, ayan. Just to name a few. Marami pa. Okay? And we also have dense granules. Dense granules, we have an example, ADP and ATP. Nandito yan sa dense. Calcium, also in the dense granule. Serotonin, Okay, ayan. Yan. So, reviewin nyo yun kung ano yung laman ng alpha and dense granules. Ayan. So, after mag-contract, nagko-contract na siya, nare-release na si granules. Okay? Yan. So, once that is released, ayan, your platelet receptor, GP2B3A, okay, is also exposed na. Okay, so we forgot to mention sa adhesion part pala. Sa adhesion part, ano yung responsible natin dito na receptor? What receptor is responsible for the adhesion? We have GP1B. Where will I write it? Glycoprotein 1B is for the adhesion. Okay. Para kay von Willebrand factor. Okay. So, para dumikit si platelet kay von Willebrand in this part, in here, kailangan niya ng itong receptor na to. Ito yung responsible para dumikit si platelet kay von Willebrand. Okay? Ayan. So, once after the contraction, exposed na si GP2B3A, you have GP2B3A. GP2B3A naman is responsible for our next step or our receptor for the next step, what we call the platelet aggregation. Okay? So, the aggregation, when we say aggregation, that is the interaction between platelet to platelet. Okay? Ayan. So, ito, pseudopods na yan. I imagine these are pseudopods na. We have GP2B3A exposed. The GP2B3A cannot bind to another GP2B3A. So, it has to have a bridge. What are the bridge? What are the bridge that is responsible for this? So, we can, it can use either von Willebrand factor or fibrinogen to act as a bridge. Okay? Ayan. So, dito sila titikit. Okay, we have von Willebrand dito and von Willebrand factor. Okay, so saan nanggaling si von Willebrand factor and si fibrinogen? It came from, number 1, it's already in the plasma, it's already in the blood. Number 2, from the alpha granules. Okay, yan. So, once they are there na, okay, so now your other platelets, the other platelets will start to clump here and will aggregate. Yan. So, didikit na sila ng didikit dyan. Yan. So, that composes your platelet plug. You already have a platelet plug. Okay? Yan. So, that's your that's the principle of the primary hemostasis, as simple as that. Okay, so I wouldn't go over now everything involved. We're not gonna talk about the for example, ano ba yung nagpa-promote ng vasoconstriction? We have serotonin, thromboxane A2 coming from the secretion from the platelets as well. Okay, so yung mga ganong details, you can read na lang that on your own. Okay, so let's go na sa secondary hemostasis. Okay, so secondary hemostasis. So, ayan, meron na tayong platelet plug. So, how can we stabilize this platelet plug? Okay? Yan. Yan. So, let's go discuss first yung ating mga coagulation factors just as a review. Okay, when we say for example 2A, that means it is in the activated form. When F naman, it means it is fragmented. Pag may M, it means it is in its modified form. Okay? So, before we proceed in this discussion, okay, pause nyo muna. Make sure you memorize everything first. Memorize the Roman numeral equivalent and the preferred name, and also the other name. Dapat lahat ng names alam ninyo. Okay? Kasi we will never know what name will be used in the exams or in the board exam. So you have to know all of them. Okay? So, factor 1, that's called the fibrinogen. Factor 2, the prothrombin, or the prethrombin. Factor 3 is called the tissue factor or tissue thromboplastin. Okay, factor 4 is calcium, wala nang other name. Factor 5 is proaccelerating, accelerator globulin, or labile factor. Okay? Walang factor 6 kasi, based on history, factor 6 was discovered na it's only an activated form of the factor 5. Okay? So, tinanggal na si 6. Okay? Wala pa yung 6. 7, proconvertin. 8, anti-hemophilic factor, so on and so on. Okay? So, you have to memorize this first. Pause nyo muna yung video. Memorize it muna. Okay? Ayan. Okay? So, let's go on sa nature of our coagulation factors. We have what we call zymogens. So, these are substrates with no biological activity until converted by enzymes to serine proteases. So, ito yung mga yan. Ibig sabihin, wala silang effect unless they are converted into its activated form. Okay? Ayan. When we say serine proteases, these are its pag naging activated form na siya, it's also called serine protease. Okay? This consists of a single peptide chain. Activation occurs when the zymogen is cleaved at one or more specific sites by the action of another protease during the coagulation process, which we will see later on. Okay? Cofactors. Okay? These are our cofactors. Ayan. So, each cofactor binds to its particular serine proteases. When bound to the cofactors, serine proteases gain stability and increased reactivity. Ibig sabihin, without the cofactors, yung mga serine proteases cannot function on itself. Okay? Kasi, even if it can, hindi siya stable. That means, once the coagulation process starts, it cannot end to a stable fibrin clump. Or if it does, konti lang kumbaga yung nagagawa. Kasi, kulang tayo ng factor. Okay? Okay, first, let's talk about tissue factor. This is factor 3. So, this is a transmembrane receptor for factor 7, activated factor 7. So, this is the cofactor for 7 and is found on extravascular cells surrounding epithelial cells such as the fibroblasts and the smooth muscle cells. So, activation is limited by the injury itself. So, the tissue factor wouldn't be released from the fibroblast and the smooth muscle cells unless there is an injury. Okay? And remember, there is no such thing as tissue factor deficiency. Okay? Wala pong tissue factor deficiency. Why is that? Because it is from the tissues. Wala naman tayong case na kulang sa tissue ang ating patient. Okay? Factor 5 and HMWK. Okay, factor 5 is present in plasma in alpha granules, as we have mentioned kanina. During secretion, platelets release partially activated factor 5 at the site of injury. Partially activated factor 5. Okay, let's take note of this. HMWK naman is a cofactor for factor 12 and prekallikrein. Okay, factor 8. Factor 8 is a cofactor of factor 9, produced primarily by hepatocytes but also by epithelial cells in lungs and other tissues. Okay, factor 8 is unstable in plasma unless it is bound to von Willebrand factor. Okay, so it is unstable unless bound to von Willebrand factor. Yung sabihin, free von Willebrand factor in the plasma almost contains, or almost all of the time has a carried factor 8. Okay, almost palaging partner silang dalawa. Okay? Kasi unless, if not, factor 8 will easily disintegrate or will easily be consumed. Okay? So, during coagulation, thrombin cleaves the factor 8 from von Willebrand factor and activates it. Okay? So, the only way for this na maghiwalay is from the action of the thrombin. Okay? Para mahati to or matanggal si factor 8 and alongside it is activate it as well. Okay? Okay, other factors natin na not belonging to the zymogens and the what's the other one? Cofactor, we have factor 1, which is the fibrin clot precursor. We have factor 13, which is a transglutaminase. Calcium, which is a cation. And phospholipid surface from platelets, which later on we'll discuss more. Okay, characteristic of a coagulation factors, we have what we call contact group. Contact group natin, we have 11 and 12, prekallikrein, and HMWK. This is involved in the initial activation of the intrinsic pathway, also activates fibrinolytic system, kinin system, and alternative complement pathway. Okay, remember it is calcium independent, it is vitamin K independent, and deficiencies of factor 12, HMWK, or prekallikrein do not cause clinical bleeding disorders. Okay, alam nyo to, okay, na walang bleeding disorder kapag may deficiency of factor 12, HMWK, and prekallikrein. The question now is, why? Bakit kaya? Okay, later on we will discuss. Bakit kaya hindi nagkakaroon ng bleeding kapag kulang ng factor 12, HMWK, or prekallikrein? Where we keep on mentioning kapag may kulang na factor, di ba? It will cause a bleeding disorder. Okay, so later on we will answer why. Okay? Yan. So, calcium 2 independent, vitamin K independent siya. Remember that. Okay. Next, we have prothrombin or the vitamin K dependent group. We have factor 2, factor 7, factor 9, and factor 10. The way I remember it is by grouping it into 1972. We have 9, 10, 7, and 2. Okay? 9, 10, 7, and 2. So, your way and how you would remember it. Okay? So, this group requires vitamin K for the decarboxylation of glutamic acid residues in the gamma-carboxyglutamic acid-rich region of these proteins, allowing these factors to bind calcium needed in building calcium bridges with platelet phospholipid. Building calcium bridges. So, ang haba-haba, what does it mean? Let's go in this slide. Okay. Ayan. So, basically, in simple terms, it needs vitamin K to add another portion in the glutamic acid region. Kasi, if you can see here, yung non-active natin, okay, so, siya ay isa lang yung negative charge niya. Okay, so it wouldn't be able to bind in your calcium which has 2 positive charges. Okay, so, once it undergoes decarboxylation, magkakaroon siya ng another negative charge here. So, as you can see, dalawa na sila. It will be able to bind now to your calcium. Okay? Yan. Kasi dalawa yung positive charge ni calcium. Okay? Yan. So, if your factors is, kunyari, meron kang deficiency in vitamin K. Okay? So, if your factors is not activated like so, they wouldn't be functional. Kasi no matter how much of these factors you have, kung hindi naman niya kayang mag-bind with the calcium, it's useless. Okay? Ayan. So, that's the reason kung bakit if you have vitamin K deficiency, it's almost like the same effect kapag meron kang factor deficiency. Okay? Ayan. So, bakit si contact factor, balik nga tayo, bakit si contact group pala ay hindi kailangan ng decarboxylation. Bakit siya calcium independent? Okay? So, the reason for this is because these factors directly interact with negatively charged surfaces. Ano yung yun? Di ba? We have collagen. Yan. So, collagen na lang example natin. So, we have collagen. Okay? So, these factors directly interacts with already negative charged surfaces. So, that's why hindi niya na kailangan ng calcium to act as a bridge. Okay? Or to stabilize it. No? Okay? That's why it is calcium independent and vitamin K independent. Okay? So, next, we have thrombin. What are the roles of thrombin? Okay, so saan ba si thrombin? It's part of your prothrombin group or the vitamin K dependent group. What are the roles of thrombin? First, it has a role in coagulation itself. It activates platelets through cleavage of proteases, activated receptors PAR1 and PAR4. Activates factor 5 released from alpha granules. Activates factor 8 and cleaves von Willebrand factors. We have mentioned. Activates factor 11. Splits fibrinogen peptides. Okay? Yan yung kanyang roles. Ang dami yung roles. Aside from that, it also has a role in regulation ng coagulation, such as in the protein C pathway, and the controlling of fibrinolysis in the TFPI or tissue factor pathway inhibitor. Okay? So, it also has a role for that. So, ang daming role ni thrombin. Characteristics of coagulation factors. Next group natin, we have fibrinogen group. Si fibrinogen group naman, it is calcium dependent, vitamin K independent. Okay, it's already ready for calcium na siya. Kaya hindi niya na kailangan si vitamin K. Okay, ano yung mga kasama nito? We have factor 1, 5, 8, and 13. I write it down as 1, 3, 5, 8. Ganyan. Okay, so I have 1, 13, 5, and 8. Okay. So, they are acute phase reactants. Okay, ibig sabihin kapag there is an inflammation, tumataas sila. Okay? So, they are labile as well. Consumed in coagulation but not absorbed by salts. All are substrates of plasmin. All are activated by thrombin. Ayan. Completely consumed. Ibig sabihin, sa serum, hindi mo na makikita si factors 1, 13, 5, and 8. Ubos na sila. Okay? Yeah, so our structure of the fibrinogen, your fibrinogen structure, it contains 3, dalawang D domain, isang E domain. That's your fibrinogen. Okay? So, what happens is once your fibrinogen is activated, okay, so your fibrinogen is activated, your thrombin cleaves fibrinopeptides A and B. Yan. So, nahati ito. Yan. Nagkakaroon ng hati dyan. So, nakabukas siya. Diba? It's open. Okay? So, that's your fibrin monomer. Okay? Pag nagkaroon ng spontaneous polymerization, okay, magdidikit-dikit sila, that's your polymer. Okay? Yan. So, your do you call this? Factor 13, the purpose of your factor 13 is it cross-links your D domains. Okay? Yan. So, it cross-links your D domain. Yan. Nagkaroon ng linkages here. That's what you call now the stabilized fibrin. This is actually also a fibrin clot na, pero hindi pa siya stable unless meron na siyang cross-linkages from your factor 13. Okay? Yan. Now, let's talk about the pathway. Okay, so we have two versions to discuss in today, we have the old one and the new one. I'm not sure if you've already heard of the new one. Okay, so let's review first our old one. Okay, so in the old one, we have the extrinsic pathway, intrinsic pathway, and the common pathway. Okay, so first, the extrinsic pathway, activated by the release of factor 3 into the circulation from injured tissue. Once you have your injury, mari-release si factor 3. So, si factor 3, di ba, nasa fibroblasts. It will be released into the system. Okay? What it will do is it will activate your factor 7, your factor 7 that is freely flowing in your blood. It will activate that in the presence of calcium. Okay, so you have your tissue factor and your calcium. Now we'll activate your factor 10. Yan, we activate your factor 10. We call this as the extrinsic tenase complex. Anong composition ng extrinsic tenase complex? First, we have factor 3, or unahin na natin ito. Activated factor 7 plus your factor 3 plus your calcium plus your phospholipid. Saan galing sa phospholipid? From the platelets. Okay, so the surfaces provided by the platelets. Yan na yung inyong extrinsic tenase complex. Once you have your extrinsic tenase complex, it will activate your factor 10, which is the start of the common pathway. Next, we have the intrinsic tenase complex. Okay, so according to this starts from the contact ng collagen. Once there is collagen, it will activate factor 12. Okay, so factor 12, activated factor 12 will activate 11. Activated 11 will activate 9. Activated 9 will activate 10. Okay, so what we have here naman is the intrinsic tenase complex. Okay, so the intrinsic tenase complex is composed of 9, 8 calcium, phospholipid. Okay, and now the common pathway. Okay, so both the intrinsic and the extrinsic pathway will activate the common pathway. Okay, so the common pathway starts by the activation of factor 10. Your factor 10 now, okay, in the presence of calcium, 8, and phospholipid. We call this now is the prothrombinase. The prothrombinase complex will activate the factor 2. Now, the factor 2 will activate your factor 1 fibrinogen to turn it into fibrin. It will also activate factor 13 to stabilize that fibrin clot. Okay, so that's as simple as that, our pathways. Now, let's look at the combined. Okay, so I know you're familiar with this one. I've made this before I've given it to you before pa pala. Okay, yan. So, intrinsic and extrinsic pathway, if I'm not mistaken po, is the old version. It says there that either of the pathways is activated or simultaneous, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's either or simultaneously silang na-activate, and then it will end up with your product, which is the stable fibrin clot. Okay, so ito kasama na dito all the other details, such as the factor 2 also activates 5. Okay, so may mali pala dito. This is 5, not 8. Okay, Okay. Yan, so 2 activates 5 and 8 as well, not just factor 1. Okay, so I know you know this by heart na. Okay, so let's go forward with the new version. Okay, so ano kaya yung naiba? Okay. According to the cell-based physiologic coagulation, we have 2 steps in the coagulation pathway. We call it this as the initiation and the propagation. When you say initiation, it starts with the formation of the extrinsic tenase complex. So this version debunks na yung intrinsic pathway is actually activated by exposure to collagen. Okay? Or what we have said earlier na simultaneous nangyayari yung activation ng extrinsic and the intrinsic pathway. So it debunks that. So what happens is, first, extrinsic pathway lang muna yung na-activate. Okay? So, diba? Let's look at this one. I don't know if I have a proper picture of this. This one. Ito mas madaling i-explain. Okay, so what happens in the cell-based coagulation? Okay, so we have an injury. You have an injury here. So your injury, because of the injury, your tissue factor will be released. Okay, so your tissue factor now will bind with your 7. So we have your extrinsic tenase complex na, no? So wag mo natin tingnan yung kabilang part. So the extrinsic tenase complex will activate your factor 10. It will activate the factor 10, so on and so forth, until it comes into your thrombin. Okay, so ang important natin dito is the thrombin. Now, the function of the thrombin, if you remember, di ba hindi lang naman factor 1 ang kanyang ina-activate, not only this one. Okay, it also activates a lot of things. It also activates 11, it activates 8, it activates 5. Okay, yan. So, that's the next phase na. Okay, in the propagation, once your thrombin is present in the site of the injury, nagsastart na yung propagation phase. Ma-activate na si intrinsic and the intrinsic and common pathway much more. Okay, 90% of thrombin generation happens in the propagation phase. Yung una, yung initiate lang siya. Okay, si extrinsic pathway pala, ang purpose niya or ang work niya lang talaga is to initiate the pathway. Konti lang yung napoproduce niyang thrombin. Okay, ang purpose lang niya talaga is to start. Once nag-start na ang thrombin, now there is thrombin present, si thrombin na yung gagawa ng bulk of the work to activate the other factors. It will activate factor 11 now. Okay, it will activate factor 11. So, using through the intrinsic pathway, it will activate more factor 10. Okay? And then it will activate factor 5 and so on and so forth. Okay? Yan. So, this also answers our question kanina. Why does, when you have a factor 12 deficiency, you have prekallikrein deficiency, you have HMWK deficiency, is wala kang bleeding disorder? So, the answer to that is, hindi naman pala sila ganun kailangan. Kasi, in the initial version that we have discussed, factor 12 would be the one to activate your factor 11. But in this version, hindi naman pala sila needed. They are only supporting characters. They are only there to support the activation of 11. So, pag present sila, mas mabilis ang activation ng factor 11. Pero hindi sila yung main needed for the activation of 11. Ang responsible for that is the thrombin. Okay, so that answers our question why when you have factor 12 deficiency is you don't have a bleeding disorder. That is because, again, the bulk of the work is done by the thrombin. Si thrombin ang responsible in activating your factor 11. Okay? Ayan. So, I hope that is clear. Actually, wala rin naman masyadong difference. Ang difference lang talaga is na-debunk na extrinsic and intrinsic is what you call this, parang comparable or parang on the same level, which they are not. Extrinsic is the initiator, intrinsic pathway and the common pathway will do the bulk of the work. Something like that. Okay? Yan. Ayan. So, once you have your fibrin formation happens when the fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. Okay? So, the way to stabilize it is by using or by the presence of factor 13, which we have mentioned na kanina. Okay? So, fibrin formation occurs in 3 phases: proteolysis, polymerization, and stabilization. This I won't go on any further. If you want to read about this, about its connection to fibrinolysis, okay, which I cannot go on any further. Okay, how does fibrinolysis actually starts from the moment fibrin is formed. Okay, so if you want to read more about that, you can read that in Rodax. Okay, yan. So, reading assignment. Ano? So, let's move on now with the mixing studies. Okay? Yun na. Let's move on after that. So, the inhibitors of coagulation, reviewin nyo rin to ha. This is important. Okay? So, diba hemostasis is a balance between the formation and dissolution of clot. Ito yung mga responsible for that. Okay, ayan. So, we have TFPI, protein C regulator, and antithrombin. You can read all about this kay Rodax. Nalinaw naman siya kay Rodax. Okay, so, I won't go any further now with this one. Okay, laboratory evaluation of hemostasis. You already know this. I also gave you a copy of this, I believe so. So, ayan na. May material naman na kayo. Reviewin nyo na lang. Let's just go over na lang sa mixing studies. Okay? So, yun yung may isang nag-request. Mixing study. Okay? So, how does mixing study work? Okay? So, first, para saan pala ang mixing study? Okay? So, we know, we are familiar with PT. It's the prothrombin time and the activated partial PTT, partial thromboplastin time. So, silang dalawa, responsible sila for the, for us to know saan ba yung problem. Intrinsic or extrinsic pathway ang may problema. Diba? Okay? So, kapag po PT, it's for extrinsic, and then kapag PTT, it's for intrinsic. Okay? Clue dito, parang hindi kayo malito. In PT, table tennis, diba? Table tennis, indoors siya ginagawa. Okay? So, sa indoors ang table tennis. So, kabaliktaran na yung isa. Okay? Extrinsic yung PT. Okay? Yan. So, general rule natin, pag sinabi mong, pag may abnormality in PT, you have a problem in extrinsic pathway. If there is an abnormality in ABTT, you have a problem with intrinsic pathway. Kapag both naman may abnormality, that's the common pathway. May problem siya sa common pathway. Okay? Ayan. And then before we proceed, please memorize this. Let's go back. Memorize this first. Okay? So, ito yung mga kailangan natin. Fresh plasma contains all coagulation factors. This acts as your control. This is your control because it contains all coagulation factors. Your H plasma contains all but or except 5 and 8. Your H serum contains all except 1, 5, 8, 13, and 2. If you remember, 1358, they are consumed Diba? Consumed during the coagulation process. So, serum, ubos talaga sila. Okay? Wala ka nang makikita ng gantong factors. Dagdag mo na lang si 2. Okay? And then, adsorbed plasma, we have the prothrombin group. 9, 10, 1, sorry. Hindi pala kasama yung ano. This is 2, 7, 9, and 10. Tama pala. 9, 10, 72. 9, 10, 72. Yan. Okay? Yan. Memorize nyo muna to. Okay? So, you have to memorize this with accordance to their name. Hindi sa, baka kasi sometimes, di ba, when we memorize, ito yung pangalawa, ito yung pangatlo, ito yung panguna, ganun. Minsan nakakalimutan natin siya. And this part, sa names nila, sometimes, kasi depende sa gumagawa ng questions, hindi ganito yung pagkakasunod-sunod or yung presentation nila. So, you really have to know, adsorbed plasma, ito yung wala. Serum, ito yung wala. Age plasma, ito yung wala. Okay? Ayan. Ayan. So, how does mixing studies work ba? How does it work? Okay? When you do PT-PTT, you only know which pathway is there a problem. You wouldn't know which specific factor is the problem. So, why do we have to know which specific factor is deficient or may problem? Because it would matter naman on our treatment. For example, the pathway in question or the pathway in question, yes, is in the common pathway. What are the factors in the common pathway? There are a lot. You have 10, you have 5, you have 2, you have 1. Ayan. So, yun yung mga in the common pathway. Okay? So, yung mga yon, iba-iba sila ng characteristic. Meron doon, part of the vitamin K dependent group. Meron doon, part of the fibrinogen group. Okay? So, for example, you have figured out that the problem is in the factor 2. Okay? In the factor 2. Okay? Now, we can know what is the problem. Maybe the problem is vitamin K deficiency. Hindi naman pala kulang ang factor 2. Okay? Kulang ka lang sa vitamin K. Okay? So, something like that. So, that is the logic behind why we have to identify the specific factor deficiency. Okay? And in order to do that, we do mixing studies. Okay? Yan. So, dami ko ng daldal. Yan. Post nyo muna if hindi nyo pa memorize. Dapat memorize nyo na to. Okay? Yan. So, if so, let's proceed to example number 1. So, in example number 1, ako kasi I find it confusing when I write it in Roman numeral. So, I write it in this way. Alam nyo naman yan, na-discuss ko na rin to sa inyo last time. Actually, it's the same example ata. Or, I don't know. Ayan. So, I write it this way. Para remember, mali ito. Okay? If the question in the board exam is, ang choices ninyo is yung nakasulat sa Roman numeral, and then isa is nakasulat in hindi Roman numeral, mali yung hindi Roman numeral. It should always be written in Roman numeral. Okay? Yan. Yan. So, example number 1, PT is normal, PTT is prolonged. As we have mentioned, pag PTT ang prolonged or may abnormality, that is in the intrinsic pathway. So, the first step that you should do is write the factors involved. Okay? Factors involved. PTT, we have 8, 9, 11, and 12. So, this is our choices. Now, we do exclusion. Okay? So, factor 1 should always, number 1, sinulat ko lang to the same as how I've written it in the previous slide. So, this is the fresh plasma. Fresh plasma should always be corrected kasi nga siya yung control. It contains all coagulation factors. If in case your fresh plasma is not corrected, meaning you have done something wrong. Or maybe all of your reagents ay sira na, expired na. There is something wrong with the procedure. Okay? Factor 1 should always be corrected. Ano pala ibig sabihin natin when we say corrected? It means, for example, prolonged. Normal ito prolonged. Let's say, kunyari, this took 50 seconds. 50 seconds before siya nag-clot. Familiar naman with the procedure ng PT-PTT, di ba? If not, reviewin nyo muna. Balik muna doon. Yun. So, this took 50 seconds. And let's say our reference value is, hula lang to ha. Sorry, I forgot the usual reference. Anyway, it varies naman from reagent to reagent. Let's say the reference is, or the control for this batch is 26 seconds. Ayan. So, yung sabihin prolonged. Malayo siya sa control. Diba? Okay. So, meaning it's prolonged. Okay? So, when we run it with the addition of fresh plasma, dinagdagan natin ng fresh plasma yung sample, yung fresh plasma contains all of the coagulation factors, it should be corrected. So, magiging result nito na is somewhat closer to 26. Let's say, nag-28 siya. Ayan. So, na-correct. That's the meaning of the corrected when we say corrected. Okay? So, if you don't know pa. Yan. Ayan. So, fresh plasma is not corrected. Fresh plasma is corrected. Age plasma is not corrected. Age serum is not corrected as well. What's the number 4? Adsorbed plasma is corrected. Okay? So, what I do is, I write it sa gilid. Ano yung mga wala sa mga plasma na ito or mga reagents na to. These are considered reagents na. Ano yung mga walang factor. Okay? So, if you do it other way, kasi sometimes some other references, they teach it for you to remember what are the coagulations present instead of the what are the coagulations absent sa reagent. This is easier, I'm telling you. This is easier. Okay? So, just to remember yung mga wala. Okay? What are the absent coagulation factors? Okay? So, write it down. So, si number 2, wala siyang 5 and 8. Number 3, wala siyang 1, 5, 8, 13, and 2. Number 4, wala siyang 2, 7, 9, 10. Okay? 2, 7, 9, 10. Yan. So, what is the first step? So, the first step is to do exclusion. Okay? We are talking about the intrinsic pathway. Ito lang yung ating concern. Of course, you have to cross out everything that is not part of that. There you go. We have 8 and 9 as what do you call this? Natira. Okay, 8 and 9 na lang yung natira. Okay? Ayan. So, wala na itong wala tayong concern sa lahat ng na-exclude natin. Let's look at 8. Let's look at 8 first. Or, yan. So, this coagulation, this reagent does not have factor 8. And it was not corrected. Isipin nyo, if this particular sample has a factor 8 deficiency, then this reflects on our number 2. It was not corrected because if it has factor 8 deficiency, okay, it needs factor 8. This does not have factor 8. Tumutugma yung result niya na it is not corrected. Diba? Same with number 3. This does not have number 8. If 8 talaga ang problem, tumutugma siya. It's also not corrected. Okay? Ayan. Diba? Yan. So, hindi pa natin pwedeng i-exclude si number 8. So, dito, sa number 4, corrected siya. Corrected, number 4. This has factor 8. It has factor 8. Diba? It has factor 8. So, maybe, kaya siya na-correct. Dahil kay factor 8. Pero, meron kang factor 9. Wala kang factor 9. Okay? So, in this part, pwede na tayong mag-exclude. We can exclude factor 9. Kasi, isipin mo, you do not have factor 9 and yet it was corrected. Okay? You do not have factor 9 and yet it was corrected. Okay? So, meaning, hindi si 9 ang salarin mo. Okay? Hindi si 9 ang salarin mo. Okay? Yan. Yan na. Na-exclude mo na si number 9. Okay? In short, I just explained to you the logic behind. Pero, yung short version is, basta corrected dito, tapos kasama siya sa iyong list here, cross out mo na siya agad. Okay? 9, cross. Nakita mo. Ganun kasimple. Okay? So, I just explained the logic behind bakit natin siya kinross out. Okay? Yan. So, natitira na lang sa ating salarin ay 8, 11, and 12. Okay? Let's look at 11. Bakit si 11? 11. Dito, meron siyang factor 11. Meron siyang factor 11, and yet it was not corrected. So, meaning hindi siya ang salarin. It has factor 11 and yet it was not corrected, hindi siya yung salarin. Same with number 12. This does have factor 11. May factor 11 yan. Kasi ang wala lang naman ay factor 5 and factor 8. May factor 11 and 12 yan. And yet, it was not corrected. Okay? So, you can cross that out. Okay? Yan. Sa madaling salita, kapag not corrected at wala dito sa listahan mong ito and not corrected siya, cross out mo na. That just leaves you with one answer, factor 8. Okay? I hope that is clear. Another example, medyo bilisan ko na, magwa 1 hour na tong aking video. Okay? Another example, PT is prolonged, PTT is normal. Ito, hindi ko na kayo papahirapan. Pag ganito, automatic, it's factor 7. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip. Okay? Why is that? What happened? Automatic, it's factor 7. Why is that? Ano-ano ba ang ating nasa extrinsic? Diba kapag PT, that's extrinsic. Ano-ano ang ating involved sa extrinsic? You have factor 3 or your tissue factor and your factor 7. Dalawa lang yan. And anong sabi ko kanina? There's no such thing as tissue factor deficiency. So, kapag ganito, unang kita nyo pa lang, it's 7 automatically. Okay, wag na kayong mag-isip. Okay? Next one, ito, common pathway, parehas prolonged. Common. Ano-anong kasama sa common natin? You have factor 1, you have factor 2, you have factor 10, you have factor 5. May naiwan ba ako? 11, factor 13. Kaya rin nasama lang dito factor 13. Ayan. Pangit pala na sulat ko. Yung isa ay hindi Roman numeral. Ayan. Okay, so first step natin, di ba? Sabi ko kanina, tignan, not corrected, corrected. Okay, tignan natin yung cross out pala muna natin yung mga hindi involved. Hindi involved ito. Okay? Yan. Corrected. Corrected siya. Okay? You can cross out na yung mga wala. Yung same. 2, 10. Ayan. Nabawasan na tayo. Not corrected. Okay? Not corrected. Dito muna sa number, Okay. Not corrected number 3. 1, 5, 13, and 2. Na-cross out na ba natin si 2? Na-cross out na natin si 2. 1, 5, and 13 na lang. Okay? So, how do we cross this out na? Now, let's look at this one. Number 2. Si 2, meron siyang 1. Meron yang 1. And yet, somehow, it's not corrected. Cross out 1. 2 also has 13. Kasi wala naman sinabing wala siyang 13. And yet, somehow, it was not corrected. So, cross out 13. Okay? Tumutugma ba dito? Naiwan natin si 5. Tumutugma ba dito? Ito walang 5, not corrected. Ito walang 5, not corrected. Ito, merong 5, corrected. Okay, so tumutugma, the answer natin is factor 5. So, as simple as that. That's how you do mixing studies. Okay, I hope everything is clear. Ito, another example. Do this on your own. Take a screenshot or write it down. Pause the video. Okay, so I guess I have discussed everything na. Okay, so other information that you need naman, you have your handouts with you, you have your supplemental readings, you can read books, Rodax, kung gusto nyo medyo mabilis-bilis, the Shula portion, or whatever read material you have, I believe that is sufficient enough na. Okay? So, ayan. So, thank you everyone, and God bless.